Hey there, welcome to another episode of Savor Food and Body. Today I want to talk about the concept of your body story and what that means. As a medical provider, dietitian, and certified intuitive eating counselor, I could really care less about the weight of your body, your BMI, the size of your body. What I care more about is your body story. What has your body been through? What has it survived? What has it triumphed over? What challenges and frustrations does it still have to overcome? Your body story is really what the foundation is for your relationship with your body. So when your body story includes such things like trauma, even including trauma from weight stigma and the messages that you may have been received about your body over all these years, if it's the wrong, quote unquote, the wrong size, unhealthy, what's not healthy, all of those messages that you receive about your body, that plays into your body story and really the foundation of your relationship with your body. So I want to give you two examples, and this comes from my own personal life. I have two fairly important parts of my body story, and the first is when I was in college, in undergraduate college. I saw the movie Sabrina, or the remake of the movie Sabrina anyway, but, and I'm going to date myself here a little bit, it was still quite a long time ago, and this was the movie with Harrison Ford and Julia Ormond playing Sabrina, and the idea was that Sabrina was this gardener's daughter in a wealthy household, of which Harrison Ford and his brother were members of the wealthy household, and she always wanted to be a part of their life and be a part of that glamorous lifestyle that they lived. She was a little bit younger, and when she went away to university, she had this idea of like, oh, I'm gonna change completely while I'm gone. I don't remember that it related so much to her weight, but I just remembered that she had this idea of I'm gonna be in a different body and have a different persona when I get back. And she went away. I believe she went to study in Europe, and when she came back, they didn't know who she was. She was this miraculous, beautiful, interesting woman, and no longer this gardener's daughter from next door. So I'll leave the rest of the details for you to watch the movie another time. But I was at a point in my life that I thought, wow, like that was a pretty impactful experience for her, and wouldn't that be cool if I went through the same thing? So, long story short, during my second year in college, I was able to go and live in Salzburg, Austria, with a couple handfuls of other students from my home university. And I had that same thought that, wow, if my body changed while I'm gone for these 9 months, I wonder if I'll be looked at differently. I wonder if I'll be noticed differently, especially by men interested in dating, whatever. So that is really when I started pursuing my long distance running career even more heavily. Not really with any clue of what I was doing, but just more on the idea that doing this might really change my body. And it did. I didn't have any, like I say, structured plan to it. I wasn't following any specific diet plan. I just ran and kept running. So there's a little bit of the Forrest Gump complex in there too, from the Forrest Gump movie. Just kept running. Ran my first marathon and was immediately hooked on both long distance running, and I truly enjoyed moving my body in that way. But what I also got hooked on was when I came back and my body had changed, and I got all kinds of comments. I was a faster runner, my body size had changed, and I just really ate up all of those validations that I was getting, that now I was somehow this elite runner. And that perpetuated itself for almost the next decade of my life. And so that's one part of my body story that definitely affected my relationship with food and my body for, like I said, another decade, maybe even 15 years after that. The second part, important part of my body story is, again, traveling related. And I was, it was probably almost 15 years later. And I was on a trip with my dad, and we went to Nepal, went on a hiking trip in Nepal. Gorgeous scenery. I'm extremely grateful to have had that experience and that my body was capable of doing something like that. But I really was not well. I was well enough to not be noticed by doctors that I had something wrong with me. My lab values, everything was fine, but I really was not well. I was not myself. I was not strong. And we were it was towards the end of our 3-week trek, and we had to come over a high pass. And as we came down from this high pass, and there was no hiking trail, so I was climbing over some rocks and boulders, and I had to be held onto the trail, if you will, by a climbing rope. And I was down climbing from this climbing rope, and I was so weak. And both mentally, physically, everything, I was just done. And I'm standing there and I'm looking at this, really shaking. Can't say that I was standing still, but really shaking, looking around at this beautiful scenery, but honestly really scared for my life, and scared that I was going to start having to miss out on playing and being in that mountain environment if I didn't get my act together with food. And by that I mean start eating, start nourishing my body, stop restricting, stop being hung up on what my body looks like, and instead go more inward and what does my body feel like, and having an enjoyment in the mountains. So that was kind of another important part of my body story, in that it turned me around from constantly going down that restrictive dieting path and riding that really fine line between what's health and what's not health. Another term for that is orthorexia too, and that could be a whole nother post on and of itself. So anyway, those stories like that, and I'm sure you have many as well, and can think of different points in your life that are equally important into your body story. That means more to what my health journey has been like, both mental and physical, than any number that I ever weighed along those lines. What I want to invite you to do and to consider is a practice, and it's a practice that I learned from the Body Positive, and it's I call it drawing your flower, your body story flower. And it's a nice analogy in that as I walk you through it, you're going to be drawing a flower from the roots all the way up to the petals. And the analogy is that you're connecting with a growing thing. A flower is a growing thing. And I invite you to get a piece of paper, journal if you're writing in a journal, and just take note of this exercise. And you may, if you choose to put weights in there, fine, if that's an important part of your body story, no shame in that, and no judgment. But I invite you to think more along the lines of messaging and actual events that happened in your life. So as you open your clean piece of paper, and if you're drawing with a pen or pencil or colored pencils, I want you to start with the root system. And again, we're not worried about being perfect artists here, but just start drawing the roots of that flower. And those roots, go ahead and label down any messages that you received about your body to this point in your life. Maybe messages from when you were growing up, could be messages from your family, your friends, teachers, coaches, healthcare providers, the media, anywhere that you've seen, you've gotten messages about beauty or health, maybe even self-worth. And you may want to pause the video to take the time to do that. As you move up from the roots and you start to draw the stem, I want you to think about, what is your relationship with your body like right now? What is your body story right now? And what words or phrases might you use to describe your relationship with your body, your relationship with food right now, and what part of your body story is taking place right now. And again, feel free to pause the video as you do that. And the final part is actually drawing the flower and the petals. And in those petals, I want you to write down phrases, words, whatever resonates with you, to what you aspire your body story to be, and the relationship that you aspire to having with your body and with food. So again, we're starting from the past, down at the roots, with the messages you received in the past, going up through the stem. What is your relationship with food and your body like right now? What's your current body story? And up to the petals of the flower. And what do you hope that your body story will come out to be? So if you feel like sharing in the comments, I'd love to hear your thoughts. You can also comment over at alpinenutrition.org/contact. And I hope that's helpful. I hope that helps you connect with your body story and think about your body story from more of a multifaceted perspective than just based on weight and based on clothing sizes. And with that, as we can see, it's getting dark so much earlier these days. I will say goodnight, and I will talk to you again soon. Take care.